4, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fearlessness isn't a single action, but it's a lifestyle. So let's freaking go.
Let's celebrate something. Because this show, the theme of it is going to be the media and how the media is dead. The mainstream media is dead in this country. And that is something to cheer about, to celebrate. And let's just talk really quickly about why that is the case. Why is the media dead? Why? Well, you know how we always talk about stress tests? People have stress tests in their lives. You do, I do. Countries have stress tests. And what we saw repeatedly over the past few years is the United States of America failing stress test after stress test, courtesy of the media. The media would run to the cameras and say things like, COVID's going to kill us all. You're not allowed to bury your mother. Your grandma's going to die if you don't get your 10th booster shot. Trust the science. You remember all the COVID lies, and the American people, not all of us, of course, probably not you, but the American people as a whole fell for it. Well, okay, I better wear a mask on. Well, stand 6 feet away from me. The American people fell for it. And the media has done this time after time after time after time. The Trump-Russian collusion lies, the St. George Floyd lies, where they all ran to the camera and somehow promoted the very, very false narrative that black people are being hunted down and slaughtered in mass in this country by rampaging police officers. And the country failed then too. Well, okay, I mean, I guess we don't need laws. We should let everyone out of jail. Failure after failure after failure. But there was something else happening while we were failing. You see, the point of stress tests often is to figure out what you need to improve on. If I decide to put myself through a hard run, I'm gonna go run a mile when I get home, as fast as I can possibly do it. And I get done running that mile and I'm sucking wind. I feel like I'm about to pass out. I check my stopwatch and I did the mile in about 20 minutes. Well, yes, that's a failure. That's not good. It's failing a stress test. But what else is happening there? I failed miserably. I'm also learning. Wow, I got to get back in shape. This isn't good enough. I'm fat. I'm out of shape. I better improve. The United States of America, after enduring lie after lie after lie, slowly but surely decided to improve. And what is that improvement? They decided to reject the media. They decided that the things they see when they turn on NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, when they sit down and turn on these channels, the things they see are not bias. They don't lean left. They're looking at outright lies. And on the flip side, that's our side. On the flip side, you see, they got cocky because of the stress test, you see. They thought, hey, what if we tell them a nasty chest cold is going to kill 1 million people? I wonder if they'll believe it. Can we get them to wear 2 masks? And they did it, and we did. And they got cocky. And they did stress test after stress test, and they kept being able to create this world of make-believe. And they kept getting cocky, and soon they convinced themselves they could do this with anything. And they tried so hard this election. Do you remember when Joe Biden, a week before the election, surprise, surprise, put his foot in his mouth and he said this?
Just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is their supporters.
Okay, so we all watched the video of it. Kind of interesting. Now, the media, we watched the video, remember? The media scrambling, knowing that would damage Kamala Harris's chances at winning the election. They actually went to the TV, they went to their microphones, and they tried to tell you what you just saw didn't happen.
Now, the White House says that Biden wasn't talking about Trump's supporters.
They even released a transcript last night where they inserted an apostrophe in the word supporters.
There's an apostrophe there. He's talking about his supporter, meaning the comedian, his comments.
As someone who had a stutter growing up, it's very obvious to me that there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters, not simply the supporters themselves.
So the question, as John said, of an apostrophe, really.
It's a nothing burger. Joe Biden has never been a big arena speaker.
We are at a low point when it comes to our political rhetoric, and I think we should point out that that's been driven largely by the last 8+ years of former President Trump.
They just lie to your face because they think they can, because they've always been able to do it, and it's worked, and it didn't work this time. And it was fascinating. There's a wonderful clip on CNN when they're talking about X, which used to be Twitter. It's a social media thing. Maybe you're already on it. But they're talking about X and the American people and their trust in it. And you can almost see it dawn on both of their faces as they're describing what happened. What they're describing is the American people are changing the channel and they're getting their news elsewhere.
This really gets at it. Look at this. The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better.
The American people failed some stress tests and they decided to get back in shape. The mainstream media is dying and it's beautiful. All that hopefully made you very comfortable. And I am right.
Media. Okay. So here's my example. My prediction, as you know, is that after the presidential race, no matter who wins, the network news and cable news agencies will decline drastically. Because people on both sides will be angry. And somebody's going to be really mad. Okay? They're not going to watch. They're going to boom. So you can imagine a Fox News channel covering Joe Biden all day long. Come on. 95% of people who watch Fox News are Trump supporters. 95%. And the others, CNN, MSNBC, 100% of people who watch them are Biden supporters. So Biden loses, what are they going to do? What is it going to be now? French collusion? Thailand collusion? I mean, what are they going to drum up next? But nobody's going to care because the drama's over if Trump gets 4 more years. And Trump's going to do a victory lap and, lambaste these people. But about 30 to 60 days after November 3rd, people are going to just start to wave goodbye because they know they're not going to get information, honest information. They're not. You're not going to get it. This is why I'm doing so well here. I'm sitting here going, millions of people are watching BillO'Reilly.com and the First TV? Millions? How could that possibly happen? But that's what is happening. Because we'll tell you the truth. And it's not so hard to do that. All right, ESPN. Huge Disney success in 2010. All right? In 2010, they had 98% of homes wired into ESPN. And they had an incredible audience. All right, let me get the number that they had. So in a quarter, they had almost 300 million views, people coming in. 300 million in a quarter 10 years ago. Now, it's barely more than 100 million. 300 million to barely more than 100 million. All right, they've got 2 shows. In 2015, more than 1 million people watched Pardon the Interruption on Tuesday, September 29th. I just picked that random date. All right. This year, 395,000. It went from 1,078,000 to 395,000. SportsCenter went from 688,000 in 2015, all right, to 137,000. That's nowhere. Nobody. All right, more people come into BillO'Reilly.com in 3 hours than watch ESPN's SportsCenter. Okay, now why did it happen? Jemele Hill, remember her? All right, I'm not even going to mention all of the broadcasters that Disney hired on ESPN were left-wingers. And they injected politics into the Chicago Cubs score. I'm sitting there going, wait. I just want to know about the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. I don't want to know that you are a social justice person, all right? Click. So disintegrate it. And they're going to lose Monday Night Football because that's the only thing they have in the college games on a weekend. And when they lose Monday Night Football in college games, nobody's going to watch it. And Disney knows it. Disney laid off 10% of its entire workforce, and that's just the first round. 4,000 people were employed by ESPN. They let 400 go. And I'm going to predict 50% of that workforce is going to go. So, in my opinion, humble opinion, that's going to happen to all the news agencies on TV.